Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pop Culture Green Room. I'm your host, Kimberly Bryant.
And this is Blair Bryant.
And today we've got a treat with you all. We've got Diviner. We've got oh my gosh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay. I've got your titles here. Oh yeah, I'm super excited. We've got hydromancer and life path consultant Stefanie Hamiel. She's a close personal friend of mine. Oh my gosh, and of both of ours actually.
Yes.
So we're super excited to have her here. And the reason why we brought her here today is because she has like so many gifts. She also has like intuitive gifts, and she's a tarot card reader, and she's a pretty much an expert on her craft. And just to tell us a little bit about herself, and also she's going to give us her insight on this whole Vanderpump Rules, the whole like this season going on, what's going on now, the reunion, like all of your insights, and we're here for it.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this for a while now, so I'm just so excited we're doing that.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I know we've been talking about it for a while, and I'm just glad like our schedules finally aligned. Of course it's springtime in a day, the month of abundance, right?
Right, exactly. I know we're so excited, so we're finally able to do it. So Blair's going to kick off. So, okay, Vanderpump Rules. Okay, so tell us, what are your thoughts?
Well, like first of all, I would say it wasn't quite as intense as a previous season finale. I mean, not season finale, the previous reunion, which to me I kind of like that a little bit but we're also able to see that how things were going this time around because this season was like I would say I was surprised because I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I don't think anybody would expected the season to be as good as
It would be.
because everything with Scandal that happened, like all happened in real time, and we all kept up on it. And then we're thinking about time the show rolled around. Okay, it's going to be pretty boring. That wasn't the case, and we've seen a lot of fallout, not from only from Scandal, but also with Ariana and the changes that she's had in her life since everything, and that she's gotten, this like almost like this new like this kind of this how can I word this properly?
Like this resurgence?
Yeah, but it's like more than that.
I mean, she loved
was that
what she did.
Yes. And a lot of people just like were really rooting for her, and it's like she just got this really like this much higher level of fame all of a sudden that came from it. And she's on
Which is
Broadway.
unheard of.
Yeah, she's on Broadway for Chicago. She's going on there again. She's gonna be hosting Love Island. She was on Dancing with the Stars. She had lots of endorsement deals. Everybody was
She's got a lot.
She went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner last year. So a lot of good things have happened for her, and there's been a lot of jealousy that kind of came along. And with it, there's just a lot of layers too, because I would say some of the cast members, like some of them I feel like they every now and again they had some valid feelings over things that were happening. But at the same time, I kind of felt like there was some demonizing of Ariana that was going on that was not cool.
So what are your thoughts, Stefanie? What do you like from last season? So you can bring it from the beginning of last season, or from Scandal, or from the end of last season to the current season that just ended, or like to just go to town.
Everything. So
Yeah.
what I found interesting with Ariana, what she took a really fucked up situation. Can I say that? Like,
Oh, no,
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you. Girl.
Yeah.
Come on,
Well, she took a very like messed up situation and she transmuted the energy because she was still getting hate. She was having supposed friends that were being jealous of her, that were being like talking shit behind her back, and even like supposed fans. And there was a lot of people that rooted for her, but even it seemed like the Bravo execs and Andy and all these people are kind of on Tom's side, which is weird, but she has taken that energy and transmuted it and turned it into prosperity and abundance, and freaking go, girl. Like that's all I can say for her. And I would, and and the other thing is like I was watching the reunion and how Lala was acting this past season, and there does seem to be some jealousy, but also at the same time, I can see where she's coming from. Like she went through a really hard situation. No one really rallied around her. Like Scandal hit when it hit and everything else. But also at the same time, she kind of reminds me of people when I used to work in corporate America, where she's like, listen, we're friendly in the office. We might be friends outside of it, but I'm here to get my bag. We're coworkers. That's what
Yeah.
we are. And I am going to play the audience. And if you want me to be the villain, I'll be the villain. And guess what? I just bought myself a house in Sherman Oaks. Like, you can't really
Yeah, exactly.
hate her for it. But, because she's playing a role. And I think that's what we all have to remember, is that these people are playing roles. Yes, it is their lives, but it's also reality TV. Some of the stuff, they have to retake. So that's my
Right. Oh yeah, you did bring up a great point, and it was like whenever you had mentioned the way it was just like production, how it just all of a sudden became produced, and it seemed like this whole storyline where it became like it seemed like they were putting Tom Sandoval on a redemption tour. That's what the whole season seemed like, and I wasn't really feeling it, to be honest.
No, and it's kind of like again, it's like it comes back to male privilege, because anytime something like that happens, who's the one that always gets the most fallout? It's the woman. And he was the one who cheated. And I mean, granted that he and Rachel now, that they were both complicit in this whole thing. It's like I kind of feel like at the end of the day, like it almost like she got way more shit than he did. Because if you notice that there are people who, I mean, that people are still damning her to hell. Granted, she's not exactly doing herself any favors whenever she claimed that she was stepping away from everything, but then she took her own route and decided to capitalize off of it.
Are you talking about Rachel?
Yes, Rachel.
Okay,
Yes, podcast. With her podcast, and then also team up with Bethany Frankel's on a big Bravo takedown right now. And so with that happening, but even so, it's kind of like that more people are demonizing her than Tom Sandoval, because at the end of the day, Tom Sandoval's still on the show. It's like he still has relevance, and he's still on tour with his band, The Most Extras. And it's kind of, there's a lot of people who are still going to clout chase and, want to get in touch from him and be like, they might say that they don't like him, but then it's like next thing they turn around, oh, look, I met last night, or I went to see Tom in this Sandoval and Most Extras. And like, so that's going to happen. And so what ends up happening is that, and it's like, and I feel like also it's kind of like, and then look at Ariana. First people are championing her, and then all of a sudden it's like they're turning their backs on her and they're annoyed because all these good things are happening. And I feel like what I'm also kind of seeing what's happening here too is not only despite the fact, not only being the fact that she's a woman, that she's getting a lot of shit. I mean, because let's not forget, I mean, Tom actually did get a lot of shit, but he deserved it, and he was the one who did it to himself.
Absolutely.
But also what we're almost seeing too is that fact that like she's getting like that Ariana's being treated poorly, because the fact that people are jealous, and that's what happens whenever people see that someone's doing better than them in life or getting ahead. That it seems like everybody's cool and everybody's fine with them until someone starts to get ahead of them or catching up to them. And I feel like a lot of that played into it too.
I think, yeah, like I think you hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly what's happening. And I mean, I think we've all experienced it ourselves on our day to day. Like, especially as women, like when we start succeeding, not only are we fighting against men that don't want us to succeed, but we also have women that are going, why can't that be me? And I think that was also really highlighted during the season on some of the things. Now, do I think Sheena had every right to be a little bit upset? Because she is like, her feelings are valid with the whole, when's it going to be my turn? But also at the same time, like, you were being a really shitty friend. Like the whole time, like going back and forth because you weren't cheated on, but also with all the mental health issues she was going through. My question to them is like, being on the show, is it really a good thing for you right now? Because it doesn't bring out the best on people. And then the whole thing is like, if Tom wanted a whole redemption arc, he needed to take accountability. So you can sit here and you can do all the meditation you want. You can do all the yoga. You can do all the ayahuasca trips. You can do all of
that.
But if
the cold water baths,
ice baths, you aren't doing anything. You're basically just putting a Band-Aid on something, like something that's gushing blood. You're not truly facing what needs to be faced and take accountability.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even think he even really wants to take full accountability. And then it's like when I zoom out and look at the whole big picture of this whole scenario of everything that's happening, honestly, Ariana, because of the whole scandal, her embarrassment, she set everybody up. She set everybody up to make great money and profit off of this. And they are, and
Right, exactly.
And I think what just blows my mind is the fact that it's like it seems like it's not enough. It's not enough. And but I think also what happened as well is the fact that as soon as the scandal hit, I mean, they were getting endorsement deals. Every like things were coming from left and right, podcasts, commercials, like anything you could think of. And so their income, I mean, starts to increase. And then from there, it's like, okay, they started buying houses and their expenses increased. And then suddenly they're saying that Ariana, she's thriving and she's doing like she's growing, she's exploding outside of Vanderpump Rules. And everybody's pretty much like,
Exactly.
whoa, hold up, bro, like slow down. You need to come back and what about us? And that's what it seemed like it turned into. It turned into like, what about us and what about our needs, and we need to get this done so we can make our money. And I guess they felt like because I could see from zooming out. I think part of the cast felt like they were like she was icing them out maybe out of like possible paychecks. But then again, at the same time, like we don't even know if Vanderpump Rules was going to come back last season. So there's that. It didn't seem like it was going to. It was or like this would have been or last season would have been its last one, but um, yeah, it's just it's interesting though to see and how now she's on her own career path. The girl's blowing up. She is, and I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her. And it seems like they're upset about it. And I guess so if they've got all these mortgages and these things in place and like
Yeah.
where's your next bag gonna come from? So
Well, I mean, thankfully the valley's there, and the fact that they're, two of them have bought houses in Sherman Oaks, maybe it's
Exactly.
setting them up for next season, season 2 of the Valley. So,
Oh,
because I
absolutely.
do
I think it is.
see Ariana, like she's moving on. And I think Katie's kind of done up with it too, because they keep trying to villainize her. But she's been the one that's been pretty consistent throughout all the seasons. And,
She really has been.
she has a backbone. She
mhm.
does not waver. She will not let, she sets her boundaries. And then, like, they try to drag her through the mud. And yet she went through this, like, really hard divorce and breakup. And I don't think she has ever really truly gotten the recognition that she deserves. And yet has still been a great
No.
friend. And like it was interesting watching the
Mhm.
reunion episode and Lala at the end trying to drag her, going, "Oh, you know what I'm talking about," which was very like Kristen from the like Valley, and
Yeah.
her, "I know
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what I'm talking about, Michelle." And it's just kind of like, how many times have you like called a friend to vent? Like even you two
Right. Yeah,
like venting
exactly.
about each other, like it
Yes.
happens. But you know what?
Right.
At the end of the day, sometimes you need to just vent and calm down so you can have that serious conversation with
Exactly.
somebody that is your best friend.
And that's the whole thing. And you said it perfectly. I mean, look, Stephanie, we've been friends for what? For like almost good God. Like did I say almost 14 years? Almost 14 years. It's been well over 13. And I know that now, but from looking at from some Facebook pictures that popped up. But I mean, you know that for like I mean, with our circle of friends in San Diego, I mean, with you, especially with you with your transition from military to civilian life, and then you had your military friends, and then you had us, like your civilian friends, and all this coming together. And you saw the personalities and different things that happened. Like we had our moments where everybody like people clashed and didn't get along, and we'd go. I came to you to vent about a lot of things
Well, I
and
mean,
people, but
we
it's
even
like,
had our moments when we got into it, but at
yeah,
the
I
end of
know
the day,
exactly.
we came back together and we're like, okay, yeah, I was being a little shit. I'm sorry. Like, I was not
Right,
being a good friend
exactly.
there.
Oh,
I'm very sorry.
yeah, exactly. Like adults, and we worked through it and everything and stuff. And it's kind of like you said, everybody has his moments, and it just bothered me so badly the way Lala was throwing her under the bus like that.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
and I am guilty. I've done that before. I've done it before where I had gotten really upset with somebody who they iced me out completely. They were a friend of mine, and I got like upset like one night or whatever, and I said something that they had confided to me about because I was pretty much over them because I was upset. And then when I had gotten the feedback that I didn't expect to get back, which the feedback was basically like, what, like, don't do that, don't go down that road, just move on. And I was kind of like, what, that's, a better thing to do instead of just throwing someone under the bus, even though we're not like, we weren't on speaking terms
And
anymore, but
yeah, and that's the thing is like, I necessarily don't know if it's so much throwing Katie under the bus, like people are perceiving it that way, as Let's be honest, the first episode of the reunion, like compared to last season's first episode of the reunion, like you said earlier, was very docile. So
Right.
Yeah,
we're trying to ramp it
for
up.
sure.
I mean, the most excitement we are having through it is James Little going, like in it.
Right.
So it's just kind of, he's like, you know, his little things that he does. So I think it's
Mhm.
trying to, like, you know, she's playing her part. She has a mortgage to pay off.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah. And I think a lot of it's Lala still self-producing, kind of like what you're talking
Mhm.
about.
Yeah.
Or self-producing. And then also what's going on too is the fact that it gets to me is the fact that she's taking something that Katie told her in confidence and she's putting it on air, like in the public for millions of people to see and listen to and watch. But what's so funny is that how Ariana's just sitting there calm and just like, and which should
Mhm.
be, you could tell that it's very telling of of Katie and Ariana's friendship, but also knowing that they go through these things all the time and that it's a non-issue because of the fact that she had such a non-reaction. And you could tell that I think that Lala was going internally going crazy and freaking out because of it.
And did you see that Katie actually released a statement on her Instagram?
First of all, but I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I did take a glance at it, and she basically, what she said, it was that,
I'll read it.
yeah, take
Looks
a
like
look
I
at
found
it.
it.
Yeah, because she basically said that Ariana was already aware of it because there were many instances like that where she went to friends because they've already discussed it. And so that's why Ariana didn't really react. There wasn't really much of a reaction because it was something that's already been addressed and they've handled. So that was interesting.
well, and that's the thing is like real friends will discuss things like that instead of
Mhm.
just like,
Oh,
I'm
for
going to
sure.
constantly talk behind your back. It's, hey, I needed to vent somebody. You were performing. I didn't want to bother you. And this is where it's hard where friends are business partners or even family is business
Right.
partners. Because especially when someone's doing their own thing, you sometimes have to put that like business partner hat on and being like, hey, this is happening right now. I'm so proud of you.
Mhm.
But you also have an obligation to this. And I'm trying not to stress you out, but I need to let you know. And it sucks because you also
Oh,
really
yeah,
care
1000%.
about this person. But sometimes you have to put those different hats on.
Yeah, you do. I mean, like, how are you going to go through how life and work? I mean, even like in
Exactly.
work scenarios, like not just home life and personal life. It's just like that's something that you've got to carry like through and everything. But yeah, I found okay. Oh my gosh, Kim did not. Oh, you found it. She
I
found it.
found it. Yeah, just go ahead and read it. That's right.
Well,
So
it's
here's
funny
like
because
Katie's
I pulled a
statement.
card just now talking about like what
Oh,
Katie and Ariana's like relationship is, and it's the Ten of Cups. Like,
oh, awesome.
yeah, like
Dead golden.
it's full of like good vibes. Like they're true friendships. Like it's not
Oh, for sure.
everybody
Yeah.
else. Like that's who they are.
And that's like one of the best cards you can pull for something like
Right?
that. So yeah.
Oh, that shows how solid they are. Oh, that was. Oh, nice job. That was a great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
if
a good
I would have
pull
pulled
that
the
one.
Three
Yeah.
of Swords, this would have been a very different conversation. I would be like, hold on a second.
Exactly. I know, right? Exactly.
That would have been hope.
All right. So here's the like statement. Let's see if I can zoom in on here a little bit. Katie said on it looks like there's an Instagram stories because it wasn't on her Instagram, but she said, "I'm someone who has suffered from imposter syndrome for as long as I've known myself. Hence why I was apprehensive about opening a sandwich shop on my own. So when Ariana was going through not only a world of hurt, but also getting some amazing opportunities, that changed a lot of things during a pivotal time. I was extremely sensitive to what she was going through, but also very supportive. I was also dealing with immense insecurity about what I could take on and simply didn't want to put that on her. I had an emotional response that didn't feel appropriate bringing it to her front door, so I went to where I felt safe, or where I thought it was safe, until I could find the appropriate conversation to have with Ariana, which of course I did, and we have had plenty of sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of
Oh,
sense.
okay.
It's
That
like
was.
it makes a lot of sense of Ariana's reaction, where it's like she's like, "I don't care, like, what's the big deal, Lala?" And it's kind of funny in a way because if people are dragging Lala for Phil, what's so bad about is the fact
Wait,
that
they're doing what? I
they're
couldn't hear
dragging
you.
Lala for Phil because it's
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah.
and it's like I get it because it's kind of like I think she would have been great this season had she not been a little too like had she not I think been a little bit too self-involved in terms of like and trying so hard to self-produce.
Oh, that was a big. Oh, she was.
Yes.
It was so obvious she was self-producing from day one.
And I get it. Like, it's like, I mean, she had some valid, like, arguments and like early on, because the fact that, look at all the things that Randall put her through, and look how awful of a person that he turned out to be. And granted, she owned up to the fact that, she was young and immature, and that she didn't realize what she was getting into, and that she was lying about a lot of things with him, and exaggerating for a long time. And then she finally came clean about that. This would have been a really good redemption arc for her, but I think she got in her own way.
I think you're right. Like she did get in her own way, but also at the same time, she still made her money to buy herself that house. So
Yeah,
she
exactly.
also is one of those that she is a planner. She wanted to have a
Yeah.
second kid. She's now pregnant with her second daughter, which, like,
Yeah.
congratulations. And so she's making sure she's not only securing her future, but her
Yeah.
children's future. So if she
Right. Oh, I know. I'm excited for her.
yeah,
Mhm.
then she needs
At
to
that
play this
aspect.
part. But at the same time, the thing where I really feel for her on this like whole season is I empathize where she, or I actually sympathize where she wants to be in her soft girl era, where she wants to
Yeah.
embrace the divine feminine and be in the soft era because she has had to live in the dark feminine. She's had to live in the masculine to survive for so freaking
Right.
long. And it's
True.
That's a great way to put
exhausting.
it.
And she wanted
Oh, that's
to
so
embrace
true.
it, but for her to make her money, it was kind of like, you got to make your choice. You can either,
Mhm.
be the soft girl and you're not going to get as much airtime, or you embrace who you are and what the audience wants to see and what the producers want to see.
Right.
How I read it.
Makes a lot of sense.
So, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
what she did was correct,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, it's reality TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all we're all here. We're here to watch it because
I know,
being
I know. We're here
entertained
to
by
watch
it.
the drama.
Yeah,
And just be
exactly.
like, and I'm being like, it's reality TV.
And the thing about it too is that there was something she made some very valid points on, like that kind of makes you wonder also, and the fact that it's like, Ariana, she just got out of this relationship and she's like never really been. I don't think she's ever really been single her whole adult life, and she got out of this whole thing that happened with Tom Sandoval and probably never had time to process it. And 10 days later, she meets someone who she's with now, and she jumped in a relationship that quickly. And it kind of makes you wonder about that she didn't have any time to heal from that. But then also, it's the fact that early on she was icing people out, saying stuff like, "Oh, if you're gonna be friends with him, I don't want anything to do with you." And the season finale, she claims she didn't say it all, but then there was footage
Oh
that
yeah,
said it
that's right. They showed
at
the
least three different
yeah. They
times.
went and showed like the B-roll of like,
And the thing with that, that's why I felt bad for Sheena, because Sheena's loyal to a fault, and but Sandoval's been a really close friend of her for a long time, even before Ariana came into her life. And so it's kind of like, how do I navigate a situation like that? And the whole thing is that I kind of feel like that in some areas, on like some aspect or another, I kind of feel like some of them went a little too much of the, oh, hey, Ariana, I'm going to hang out with Tom, like type thing, or I'll tell Tom, or Tom this or Tom that, did too much that in front of her. Whereas with me, it's like I just wouldn't have even really acknowledged it. I just would have left those two, like I would just compartmentalize those relationships.
Yeah, and it was interesting, like the very last episode where everything went down and you kept like, the camera kept panning to Tom and him smirking. He got the exact
Mhm.
reaction that he wanted. And
Oh,
and the thing is that I don't know if it was the producers that were like pushing Sheena to do this, but she just wants everything to be so okay and everything to go back how it is, and it can't. And what is interesting,
exactly.
like cards that I pulled is like because of them pushing this, like, Ariana is choosing the Knight of Cups, which everything below the Knight of
Okay.
Cups, how like so the Knight of Cups is basically choosing your own peace, is what Ariana is doing.
Oh,
And
and
below
that makes sense.
that is like the
Mhm.
Two of Swords, and it's talking about people are being blinded and not really seeing the whole picture of everything, and they're coming at a standstill with the Hangman. So it's literally like the Two of
Yeah.
Swords, the Hangman, and below all of that, because of everything that was happening, it's the Ten of Cups now reversed. It's the Four of Swords, and it's also the Six of Pentacles reversed. So basically, because of
Interesting.
the decisions that production and everything has made this season, I don't know if we're going to see a next season. I think definitely, I would say
Yeah,
probably Katie and Ariana are probably going to walk. They're done.
I agree.
Yeah, the only person I really see sticking around are two people. I see Schwartz and Sandy sticking around. They're about the only people that I see like trying to stick around.
Well, they have
And
to.
maybe James, but James is so busy though with his
James
career, his
has his
Yeah.
whole DJ
DJ,
career.
and Allie, right? I said her name
Yeah,
right.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
her astrology is taking off. Her own business is taking
Yeah,
off.
she
Like
is. Yeah, she's doing
they
well
are,
on her own.
yeah, they are going to be fine. Like James is
Right.
like he will always be fine. Like I am not surprised. Like if you look at his birth chart, like he definitely has Saturn placements that are like ruling him somewhere. So
Oh,
like he is going to be just fine.
so the Saturn placements are those like are those moons that are placed or it's I'm trying
No,
to figure
it
this.
just depends. So everyone pretty much like has like stuff in their or should have stuff in their Saturn house, even if it's like small little asteroids. But there are certain people that are definitely more ruled by Saturn, and those are the ones
Uh-huh.
you
Right.
tend to see that are in the celebrity limelight, like they're always well liked and things like that. Like even when people are throwing shade at them, they seem to come out like I wouldn't say smelling roses, but they are
Hmm.
able to transmute that energy and make it work for them. And look at all the crap that he has gone through all through the seasons, and yet
Yeah.
he's still there,
Hmm.
and everybody loves him even with the most ridiculous shit that he says.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, and you're right there. There is a lot of truth to that because I mean, because as much as it's just like Blair mentioned earlier, as much as so many people bash him and they go for him and it's like, oh my God, we're like, kill him, or do whatever. Maybe I shouldn't say that because YouTube and their little however they edit things. So anyway, how they're everybody's like they're going for the jugular or they were, but it's like the same people they show up to his tour date. So it's kind of like so at the same time, it's like he knows he's still making money because no matter what, it's like he's still not really
But he's also had a lot of James has also had a lot of substantial growth though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Where
we're
a lot
talking
of
about
other cast members.
oh God.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Jeez, what are we talking about? I've talked about Sandoval. Okay. So scrap what I just said. I was talking about the wrong person.
Oh,
Yeah, James
like
has had a
I
lot
was
of
talking
substantial
about
growth, and
James.
that's
Like
why
I was like,
he's the
wait,
number one
what?
guy in the group now.
Yeah, so did you think she was talking about Sandoval? I was talking about I thought we were talking about Sandoval. I
Oh
remember
no, I
James.
was talking about James, not
I was
Sandoval.
talking about James
Oh,
too.
did I get on Sandoval? Oh my God. Okay.
Oh
Uh,
no, like I'm sorry. Like when I look at Sandoval, I just look at him and I'm like, dude, like I think my face just said it all. It's like, is there anything home? And I don't even want to equate it to
Right.
an orange cat, like one brain cell, but sometimes like how the producers like portray them, at least the orange cat is lovable.
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's just the whole. I think to me it just went so hard at being produced, and I think that's what irritated me, especially the season finale. I mean, but throughout the whole season, it was always Sheena just kept trying to push her point home, and I could see one or two times, saying something, maybe once, and then maybe trying again to try and get her point across, like to Ariana that she kept thinking that, you know, that Sandoval was truly sorry and whatever it was that was going on, but it was too much. It was just too forced, and it was so soon. I mean, God, like think about somebody going through trauma and people they're trying to force you to have a conversation and talk to somebody. And that's what bothered me was the fact that it's like Ariana, she clearly was like, yeah, she'll film the show, but it seemed like she had boundaries and there were certain things that she didn't want to do. She was protecting herself. And
Well, and I think that was really highlighted in the last episode, like before the reunion, where she talks, or maybe it was a reunion or a clip I saw where she talks about like there is a contract. Oh, it was after Watch What's After Live or whatever that show is now.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And she's
Uh-huh.
talking about,
The
she goes,
actors.
we have a contract where if we want to set a hard boundary, we are allowed to, and they all
Mhm.
can activate that clause at any time. And she chose to do so. So,
Right.
the question is like she is so well loved, and Lala kept making those comments of like she just skated by, she just skated by, and it's like, has she though? Like, she just went through a devastating breakup, and I'm not saying Lala didn't. She
In
did.
front of the whole world.
In
Right,
front of the whole
exactly.
world,
Yeah, like
as
everybody
it
had to
was
see it.
going down, and then you get to watch it play by play because they already wrapped, like, producing and everything. And to have
Right.
to then go back and rewatch it. And that's why she said in this reunion, she's like, I didn't watch the season. And everybody was shocked. Lisa was shocked. Andy was shocked. Todd was shocked. Everybody was shocked when she was like, no, because you can tell just her energy itself, she's done.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was tapped out, and
Yeah.
I'm glad for her. I think in a way, as much as the whole affair it sucked, I think it needed to happen for her to get out of that relationship with
Right.
Tom, because clearly it was dead in the water for a long
I
time.
never liked him with her. I never liked her with him because I felt like she could have done better, like way
Oh,
better.
yeah.
And even with honestly, the current guy she's with Dan, I don't think he's a bad guy, but I still think she could do better.
I think he is that guy that is there for her. Yes, she just met him, what was it, a couple weeks after? Because in the reunion, she was like, it
Right.
was longer than 10 days. But he is the exact opposite than Tom. He gives her her
So
space.
yeah,
They live
yeah.
on opposite coast. He encourages her. He, supports her, but she also supports him. Like, he's a chef, his family is in New York. Like, he encouraged her to go for Broadway. She did. Now she's like, going back. So even if it doesn't, and I don't see it being like, from what I'm getting, I don't see it being like babies and marriage or anything like that, but it's exactly what she needs to get to this next step and to be where she needs to be.
True. I think there's a part of me it's like that where it's kind of like that because she's been in a serious relationship and always been in a relationship that I kind of feel like, especially at this point right now, that she probably needed to be like, I mean, I guess everybody's journey is different, and it is, but I kind of feel like that it would have been nice to see her single for a bit. Just like how Katie, I mean, even Lala, they've been single for a while, for like way longer than most people
Yeah,
are.
it would have been cool to see.
And I think and it's like it's nice to see, especially Katie. I mean, I'm always like Katie anyway, even though like
Katie this
unpopular
season's got
opinion,
it.
but
Going for the
she's
younger
cool to watch.
woman, I was like,
Whoa,
damn.
Yeah, this season,
Yeah.
this season, Katie had a complete glow up because I was never really a huge fan of hers. But then it like once I really had to look back, you could see where Schwartz did bring out a lot of her energy, a lot of negative energy out of her, which made a lot of sense. Like I said, just going back and watching past seasons or past clips even, but just seeing the way she's going about everything, taking it in stride, she holds her ground. She's says what she says in regards to Ariana, and she shows that where her loyalty lies. But the things that where she handled things, the stuff that would come out of her mouth this season, I was like, Katie really grew on me. She grew on me, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then she's got like my favorite. That's her and James. Her and James. Those are my favorite looks for the reunion right now. Like I like it.
I thought, like, I don't know if she picked the dress last season or whoever did like the last reunion. I'm like, what were you doing to her? Like, it was like she was still hiding in this cocoon. And this season,
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
agree.
God damn, you're a moon goddess. Like, yes, she's
Yeah,
embracing her dark feminine energy and does not care. Like, even her hair, I tried to style my hair like her one day, and I was just like, nope, that's not my style. Like, she is freaking rocking it this past season, and
She
I love
is.
it for her.
She
Chickens
is.
are like dark feminine, like say her dark feminine black cat era. Like,
Oh yeah,
with that black cat
oh,
energy.
Yeah.
And
She's
the fact
her
that
golden
she's like
retriever who's not
exploring herself,
Schwartz.
yeah, because like her and Tom, they brought out the worst in each other.
Mhm.
And like,
Yeah,
and
they
now
really
and
did.
it's,
Mhm.
and it's interesting is like watching him. He's like, even when he made the comment of like, "Hey, just one more time," and she's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?
I know. I was
Like,
like,
are you
yeah,
trying to go hot? Like,
right.
you messed that up,
Mhm.
dude. Like, just
Yeah,
because, like,
seriously. Mhm. No, the whole time I was sitting there and I'm like, really? I'm like, dude, you're a headache. You're a headache. And then, oh my gosh, don't even get me started with his he was, no matter what people say, yeah, Joe's all over the place. Joe's all over the place and she's a bit kooky. But however, it's like, facts. Tom Schwartz, he did Gaslighter. Another fact, she knew the whole time what was going on with Ariana and Sandoval, and she was around it. She was around it when that was all going
I
on.
mean, Richmond
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, but yeah, Rachel. Yeah, she knew what was going on the whole time, and she was around, and and was friendly in Ariana's face and everything. So yeah, they all have a right to not like her. However, the way he's going about it, and he definitely gaslit her.
Yeah, gaslit and he breadcrumbed her to death, and just like, yeah.
Let's be honest. We've all dated that guy who was probably in our 20s. That guy that is like, oh no, like I love you, to get what he wants.
Right.
He got what he wants. Like they even lived together. So it was a friends with benefits situation.
Yeah.
They lived together. He led her on, and then it was like, oh no. And she had to be the cool girl. Like when they would go out and everything else. And you know how many of us like had to go through that phase of I'm the cool girl. And then you're like, this is exhausting. I think this is probably, I hope this is a relationship that teaches her, and I don't mean like relationship like they were dating and serious. I mean, just like friendship, sexual, like whatever, that teaches her that she can set her boundaries, and she will be, and I think she will be better mentally, physically, spiritually, all of the above. But it's time.
Yeah, it was just that was just wild to me though. But I don't blame Katie though. Katie doesn't have a right to be nice to her and like how she told at the season finale when she shouted out to Katie and told Katie, let him go, Katie. I'm like, really? And so then the tide turns and it's kind of like. And then here's Schwartz telling Joe, because Joe's been going ape shit. She's been going ham on Instagram Live. I don't know if y'all caught it. I've been catching it. Just
I've heard little bits and pieces about it, but I never really I didn't entertain.
Yes, I've caught just about every. It's entertaining. It's definitely entertaining. I've caught just about all of her lives, but it's she was reading text messages, all the text messages that he had sent her. I'm not gonna lie, I don't blame her. I don't have a dog in this fight. You know me. This is reality TV. This is the way I get entertained because I don't like my own drama, so I'll watch other people's drama. I'll let them
everybody else.
But anyway, so I'm just like, but I was like, he's all like, let me go, let me go. It was just wild. There was so much of it.
Well, I was just sitting there thinking, like, when I watched the episode where he propositioned Katie for like another like last little hurrah, and then Joe goes the next night or whatever at her. I'm like, girl, if you would have done that, you would have needed like an obsidian yoni egg to clear that energy. Like, like you would have probably needed an exorcism. Like, I am so glad she is like in this, no, like she's done. But also at the same time, like him giving the attention that he's giving to her now is also feeding her, which is great. Like take that energy, transmute it, make your money, like feed your.
Right.
I love it. I love it for her because he used to drain her for so many freaking years. And now once again, like it seems to be tonight, like the transmutation is the theme. She's transmuting that energy. She's alchemizing it. And I love it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Oh, 100%. Hey, gossip class. Hello. Yay, we've got company. We've got Amber. She's super cool. So Stefanie, she did a collab with us. We've got another one coming soon, but she actually interviewed Tiger King not long ago from prison.
That was pretty cool.
That is awesome. I think that got us all through that first year of COVID.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, you are not lying at all. But oh my God. But yeah. So back to Joe. That's all I was going to bring. Schwartz. Okay, but no. But that's what's so fascinating about me. It's not about me. What's so fascinating to me about him is how it's like, yeah, he's irritated and he's mad, but it's like he gave Joe this platform. He gave her the platform. So I say, girl, take it and run with it. So it's like, why did he bring her onto the show? You know what I mean? If
she's gonna make her money from it, like Six of Pentacles. Literally, it's like Joe handing a woman like money, or that's Joe funny. Like Tom handing like other people money. He did. He money, her, and she's gonna make money.
That's an appropriate card for that.
And it is, she actually, and it's funny that came up because she actually has a line, a clothing line that's out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling it. Oh yeah, I mean her stuff is just good. It's I looked at it. Yeah, her stuff's it's like I said, it's good. I like it. I like it.
This is just the beginning. If she embraces it, it's the strength card for her. So she just needs to keep going on the trajectory and like, make sure she keeps her mental health in check, make sure she keeps her physical and everything in check. But I mean, it's going to bring out the strength, bring out the lion in her. So she just needs to let it go.
Right. Oh yeah. No, for sure. Oh look, Amber said yes. She said she's seen her live. So yeah, that's right. I'll bump into her lives. I'll bump into Amber in there. But yeah, they're weird. It's like because it's so erratic, and she's a bit all over, very all over the place. Not even a bit, but it's you get lost like trying to like catch her and then chase her and just kind of like
she's got that kind of energy where it's like people like that freak me out. Like,
well, the cards that came out for Tom were the Emperor reversed and the Three of Swords.
So that means that cop-chasing girlfriend he has right now is going to be no more soon.
Yeah, he needs. I think if anybody that needs to be single this next coming up year, it's probably him. Yeah,
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
He needs a new beginning. The Fool came out. He needs
Which one's this?
The Fool. Which represents the new beginning. It could also be telling him to stop acting like a fool. Hold on, I just dropped cards.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good. This is fun. Okay, I want to know what does she say in the DMs? How is Joe in the DMs? Please spill. Always get curious about this. This is but yeah, I will not lie to you. Like because we're in Louisiana, so but my body's still on West Coast San Diego time, but I will like pop up in the middle of the night, like if I see that she's on, because I have to. There's never a dull moment in her lives. Like it's like I said, yeah, it's erratic and she's all over the place, but I find it to be highly entertaining.
You being on Joe's lives in the middle of the night, that's like me being on what's it if you know, you know. If you watch TikTok, Terry Joe's lives in the middle of the night.
Terry Joe on TikTok, huh? Oh,
it's been on. It's interesting. I didn't know that. So more cards came out, like just talking about the Tom and Joe thing. And it was basically it was the Eight of Swords, basically saying she knew what was going on. She refused to acknowledge it. She didn't want to. We've all been there. And then once again, the Three of Swords came out, and then it was like the King of Wands. Like it was the Eight of Swords, the King of Wands, the Three of Swords. Like she was basically being blinded to what Tom was really about. So even the cards.
Yeah, interesting.
Like, yep.
So. Interesting.
Oh, that is so interesting. I want to know what could you possibly pull a card on? I want to see what the future of Lala's relationship with Ariana is going to be. I'm curious as to what that's going to be like, if that is going to be anything. What do you think? What are your thoughts, player?
It's going to be actually. What's interesting is that like. Two masculine cards came out, so the King of Swords and then also the Knight of Swords, and then but in between it was the Four of Wands. So I think the relationship is probably on the rocks a little bit right now, just from what we've seen.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be okay because, like, even if you saw in the reunion at the beginning, Lala's like, "All right, let's do this out." It was kind of giving you a heads up that, like, Ariana knows the game. Like she knows how to play the game. She knows how many seasons, and we're on season 11 now. Like she knows. So do I think there's going to have to be some behind the scenes talking, some background, things like that? Yeah, but like with the Four of Wands and everything else, and their two masculine energies coming together, they're going to be fine. Like they're going to be able to put their things aside to basically make their money. Creative with the wands. And then with the swords, like they're going to let intellect and like take over, think with their brains, think with logic, and then let the creative juices flow. So, I mean, because them working together brings in them money. Like, what are you?
Right.
That's really throw that away because your feelings for her. If that was the case, they would have all left after their first season.
True, and that's what I was kind of thinking when we pulled those cards, because like my immediate thought was that I don't know which of you did it specifically for each one, but I do sometimes, but not all the time. But kind of guess it depends on like your anybody's reading style, but I was seeing Ariana as the King of Swords because the fact that she's more like level-headed and the more mature one, and because the Knight of Swords is a lot like she's the more haphazard one. So it's like
Okay, that
he's
makes
kind of
sense.
like trying to like almost like be a little too big for their britches, but they kind of need to learn. But they were going to come to some kind of truce, so some kind of understanding with the Four of Wands.
Yeah, like that's exactly how I would have read it, or how I did read it was like with the Knight of Wands
Yeah,
and
that's
everything
kind of thinking.
else. Like, Lala's also in this Knight of Wands energy where she is producing herself. She's created her
Hmm.
podcast. She's also creating, a life right now. So with all
Very
of the
true.
stuff that's going on, she's in this creative energy, and that's what the wands is all about, is embracing the creative energy within yourself. So
Yeah, oh for sure.
Got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. So
Very fascinating.
I'm curious to know. Okay, so Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz, are they still toying with the idea of living together? Okay, I had to. Okay, that part yesterday when actually that made me laugh. And it mainly made mostly the funniest part to me was when Lisa Vanderpump, but she was just pretty much like, so what? She's like, I don't understand. You the two of you are grown men. Why would you, like, you're a grown man. Why would you want to have a roommate? Why would you want to live together? And then he's nonchalantly, he's all like rolls, like pretty much rolls his eyes. He's like, my dad's in his 60s and he's got roommates. Like, pretty much like, come on, man.
yeah, but your
Surely,
dad also isn't making the money you're making, dude. Like, come on, like
It makes me
also,
wonder about his dad though too.
yeah, that's what maybe it's.
And it also to me it kind of also explained a lot about him.
Yeah, it did. That's what I thought.
There's a lot about him, you know.
Those are my thoughts though. Like when he said that, I was like, and when he said,
Feather together.
yeah, when he mentioned that about his dad, he's like, my dad's in the 60s and he's got roommates. It just made me like, I was thinking, I was like, this makes it checks. It checks with giving how he is. Cause I mean, Tom Sandoval, to me, I think he's still living in like his mental life, like he's probably in his 20s. And I mean, have fun, glory days. I mean, we saw people were in Pacific Beach. You never grew up over there. It's like Never Land, and I'm sure he's got the same type of vibe. Like he reminds me of a lot of people out there, and I can see where he's probably like so. I mean, my dad's cool. He's got roommates. I'm cool. So I can, I mean, but like Blair also said, his dad's financial situation may be a bit different than Tom's, where Tom could be, but you would think being a man that established that I would want to live on my own. But that's
but you
just
also
me.
have to think about that generation. Like, they
Hmm.
can't, a lot of the men can't live by themselves. And women are divorcing
Sure.
and leaving in droves right now because they're
Mhm.
sick of being treated like mothers instead of wives or partners.
Yeah.
And a lot of men
Facts.
have never been by themselves. And so it's also just
Yeah.
a societal issue that we're facing right now. So, I mean, it just might be that he's over there like going, hey, I have all this room. I have friends. You can move in, rent, and they have a blast. Great, whatever. But also, like you said, it kind of highlights why he is like his kid is the way he is. And it does give,
Mhm.
I was thinking more of like OB vibes, like smoking the reefer a little bit. Like, wow, I
Yeah.
just myself saying
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But like it truly is more like OB and San
Yeah.
Diego. But you asked about like
True.
them moving in together, and the three cards that immediately came out. What I'm like, where's my camera?
Yeah.
Were oh, like it sounds like it's a great day, like a great idea with the Ace of Cups, but the
Uh-huh.
Justice reversed and the Three of Swords, like that is the theme with them tonight. No, like it is a horrible idea. But what also kind of made me cackle a little bit when the Ace of Cups came out first, because it is a water based card, is when Schwartz got down on one knee and he was like, yes, I will be your roommate. And like just playing up to production and the whole
Hmm.
thing. But he even addressed it in the reunion where they were kind of
Yeah,
like,
he
oh,
did. That
that's
was
not
funny.
gonna happen. He was like, I never
Uh-huh.
know if I'm gonna be able to propose again. And it's like,
Hmm.
dude, what?
I know.
The thing I also like one last thing before we move on with Tom Sandoval's dad is that
Do you we you even know the man? It's just whatever reason. I just start laughing. It's like Tom,
to make fun of this man's wife. Like you want the whole TV. Man, I'm a 60-year-old man.
I don't think I'd want the world knowing I had friends there. I don't.
I think I want to keep that under
That's
wraps.
his dad's card.
Oh, he wasn't happy about
Nine
it.
of Cups reversed. He does not
Wow.
have shit together.
Okay.
It's like we all know. It's like look who your child is. Oh God. How do you explain this, man? How do you explain Tom Sandoval? It's like he's got traits of some people of the worst traits I've seen in people and of people that I know who are like monsters. And
He's
then
a narcissist.
yeah, he is
Yeah.
definitely. But it's just and then you watch on the other hand, it's like he'll just do shit. And you're just kind of like, oh God. And then my whole thing, it's like, where are all his friends at? It seemed like it seemed like he only had two friends at one point. But
Like, yeah, same like Tom Schwartz and Billy Lee, because like, or Kyle Chan, which
Kyle Chan really
like, I think they're using
mostly,
him. I don't feel like I just don't know if any of them are really sincerely his friend, which kind of makes me sad because it's like
They're
I
all
just don't.
yes men, is what they
Oh,
are.
is that?
They're yes men. They
Yeah,
are
true.
not.
that's what I
kind of
yeah.
like
I see them more as yes
he was
people than
surrounding
people that are
himself with.
using
No
him.
one tells her it's a bad idea. Like that's what he surrounds himself with because he doesn't want
Yeah,
to
true.
hear the truth. And you saw it very clear in this season where, you know, anytime somebody like Lala was yelling at him, Sheena was yelling at him, saying, "You're not taking accountability." And even
Right.
Lisa was like, dude, and he immediately goes to using the, you know, I'm going to myself. And
Yeah.
it was one of those things where it's like, you're not taking accountability. So anytime anybody says
Right.
something he does not want to hear,
Not at all.
reaction
Yeah,
you
no, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, those are facts. So I wonder if he's ever going to get better. My thoughts, probably not.
I mean, he's still never taken accountability for the most part, not in a real way since everything's happened.
and Ariana, she made a great point at the very end of the season finale. She said that she lived with him all that time. He could have left the note. Would she have read the note? Probably not.
Honestly, I don't think she would have either.
She said he could have that one time at that scene whenever they got together at the what was it when they picked up cameras again? When they picked up cameras again, they were in the living room. And then she's like, is there any like one last thing you want to say before I never talk to you again, ever? And he could have, I guess, used that time, but then again, he had to put his thoughts together. I don't know, but I really don't think I think he did play it up for production. I don't think he really had any intention of trying to apologize. And that's the other thing I was going to say. That's what told me
that he never apologized.
Yeah, and that's what told me that he had no intention of doing so, because if you can see throughout the course of the season, he was so desperate to get Rachel back and to get her attention. And then he got really upset whenever she blocked him and she was done.
Yeah.
So that goes
like what's in the closet.
Yeah, so then his intentions.
And I just want to make this very clear. I am a life path consultant or a coach. I am not a therapist, so I am not legally allowed to say or diagnose if someone's a narcissist or not. But, you know, that tends to be something that a narcissist does, where they hyperfixate on one thing, especially when somebody doesn't give them the attention that they want. And they just hyperfixate on it until they realize they have to cut their losses, and then they make that person the bad guy.
That makes sense.
For sure.
Sounds very familiar.
What was very telling was at the very, very end of the episode, whenever like the hot mic, I guess you can call it, when he was like, "Wow, it was interesting when everything went down." He said, "This is gonna make me look good." And I would say it just shows that he plays up everything for the camera, and that he's always he's not aware of it. It's like he doesn't try to be his authentic self.
And at the very end, he ends up getting his way. Like, and
then like one thing, another thing, like back to Lala, how we're talking about her, is that I feel like that she made a point about is the fact that everybody kind of had to show up and be authentic and be real, and should have realized. But she never really got the sense that Ariana and Tom in all those years they want to show ever did. And I agree with her on that one. Because, I mean, their relationship was in shambles and nobody knew it. And then it's like, then the whole, affair happened. And, I mean, granted, I always kind of felt like Ariana could do better anyway, but it just said to me a lot of things just made sense. And apparently, I guess, like, Tom wanted out for a while, and she just went about it a horrible way.
Yeah.
And
He did.
but
And that was the thing is how many times have any of us been in a relationship where we weren't ready to admit that it was not a good fit? And you're just
right.
and you're surviving. And that's what it kind of reminded me of, like when you go back and you watch the episodes where, yeah, like some people are viewing it as maybe she just skated by or whatever. It looks like she was kind of in survivor mode, going, "This is what I
And that
signed up
makes
to do.
that checks.
Is there an out for me? Or am I just
Mhm.
going to have to wait until I get too old or they cancel the show or what's going on and then I'll make that decision?" But what would have happened, because look what they did to Kristen when that whole relationship ended. So like,
Yeah.
she has all these things in their head, but it took two, and also the producers didn't show what was really going on in the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where that also comes into play. Like Blair said, it's like where they did pick and choose what they want to show in front of camera and in front of the camera. And I think that's why everyone is so like so many people are gravitating towards the Valley right now. And
Yeah.
everyone's there because it's not no one's like self-producing really, except for maybe Jax and Kristen, because they're familiar. That's their wheelhouse.
Wow, seriously, they're good at self-producing.
They are.
And they're made for
love them
reality
on TV.
TV,
They're
especially
oh
Kristen,
yeah.
so.
I
I'm
was so
sorry, if
glad when I saw
Kristen
them
is
come back on TV.
self-producing, girl, get someone to help you. Get someone to help you. Like I think the funniest thing that I heard the entire season when Jax was like, she had 2 therapy sessions this week. She needs a new therapist. And it's like,
Well,
it
he did
is
say that,
okay.
didn't he?
Yeah, and it's like, and that's the thing is like, it is okay to change therapists when one is no longer working.
Right.
So, but like this
Yeah.
whole season is a mess, and like they're pointing fingers at each other, and I'm like, so messy. You're like the huskies that see dirt and mud and just jump into it and just roll in it. Like,
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm curious as to I wonder what do we have any predictions as to what episode 2 is gonna be like for the reunion?
I don't know. Just that Joe comes out and she and I think Katie kind of butt heads.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just remember hearing at some point, I think that Ariana I think is gonna really get upset. And I think some of that's gonna have to do with them watching the season finale together. But I feel like I heard a rumor that she was like said something about she was not coming back.
Yeah, I did hear a rumor that she said that she wasn't coming back at the
well,
reunion.
what
So
was interesting is the cards that came behind were the 2 of
ooh,
Swords,
with the cards.
the 4 of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and then the Chariot. So basically how I would read this is that basically what we've seen and what we're already seeing clips is what is going to happen. There's going to be the blow up between Katie and Joe. There's going to be Ariana's where she's just kind of like, I'm done. I'm checked out. I'm going to Broadway. I got my sandwich shop. Like maybe even I know it's been like rumors of a possible spinoff show for Katie and Ariana. I think that would be like a small season, not like the Valley type, would be good.
Right.
Oh, like one of those kind of like how they would do those little mini
like a mini series
Like-
type.
like how they do Better on Blonde with a little mini
Yeah, like
okay, I could see
the
that.
limited series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I mean, there
that's
is
what
a
it's called.
storyline there if they choose to do it with like Penny the chef and like that whole thing. And if Lisa, but the question would be, is would Lisa back it? Because Andy Cohen doesn't seem to like them very much because they're 2 very strong, independent women. And then on top of that, like Lisa tends to be very about her boys. It's why she helped them open a restaurant.
She is. Oh, she's so by the boys. Yeah.
Yeah. Like she still defends them. But, I do think like this is probably going to be the last season. Well, definitely with like Katie and Ariana on it because they're all about chasing the chariot. They're living in the present. They're making their money.
Yeah.
They're making their money now. And they know that this isn't going to be the thing that makes them money anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I would read those there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how everything goes on the very.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, because it's like, well, I mean, also the show just really just just run its course.
Yeah, I agree.
At this point, and I think that they had lightning in a bottle with Scandal, so it gained a new lease on it. And but And even so, even though this season was really good, it's like now they have the Valley. There's some crossover going on. There really isn't any need for Vanderpump Rules anymore.
Yeah, I
And plus,
agree.
just Vanderpump Rule has so many her arms and so many different bars right now. Oh
And
yeah,
they,
it's done.
yeah, it's done. So
Mhm.
it's going to be
And
the Valley.
right, yeah, and I think they wrapped it up they did a pretty good way. I mean, and for saying that the future is a little bit uncertain, I think compared to how they wrapped it up season 9 at the end of it, season 9 of the way they wrapped it up, it was like it was kind of open ended. Like, is
season
it going
10?
to get season 10?
Mhm. The X is season 11 right now.
No, I'm talking about the season. I'm talking about season 9 because this is right before Scandal would hit. So at the end of it, like if you remember, they were all like they were I think at Sir with Lisa, and she had gotten in the back, and they were all like she was talking about how the way they were behaving amongst each other,
I think that was
and
season
then
10.
and then all of a sudden a few weeks later, or whatever, that's when cameras picked back up because Scandal hit.
Yeah.
So that was the end of season 9, going into season 10, and because the way it ended,
No, they got season 10.
it
I think
wasn't.
that was
Yeah, we're in season 11 right now.
last
Yeah,
season
we're in
was
season
when
11 now,
Scandal.
but it was because
Yeah.
it was because season.
What is it? It almost feels like there was another season in between that, but there
So
wasn't.
there wasn't.
No.
Oh,
I think
okay.
we just
So
got so much
that was
drama
season
in
10 then.
between.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's so confusing to me.
It's a
Oh,
Scandal and everything else happening in real time threw it off.
oh,
Yeah.
hey, Danny. Danny's here.
Hey, how you doing, Danny?
Yay. So we're pumping out a live. We've got our friend here. She's really good with the tarot cards, and she's intuitive. She's got all these like awesome gifts, and we go way back from almost 13 years ago. So she's on our live with us. So we're having so much fun. But okay, so I think okay, that's why it threw me off. Do you know why? Because I think season 8 was the season that like I didn't really watch Vanderpump Rules, and I think
Yeah.
that's why it just like threw me off. And then I picked back up again because that's when they had like I think Max on there or Dana.
Yeah, Max and Brett. Dana was on there.
Yeah, I didn't even like watch. I like, completely didn't watch that season.
No, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't start watching until last season. It was because of Scandal. Everybody was talking about it, so I've gone back and done like scans and like recaps of the different seasons, and like try to learn who Stassi was and everything else because people would talk about like oh Lala, and I'm like, well, so it was one of those that I went back and I started playing catch up, and it's just interesting to know everything that's happened and then go back to season 1. And then you start watching all of it. You're just like, oh yeah. Yeah, you can see how like the dominoes started stacking and to allow what happened.
Right. You know, it's so funny you brought up Stassi because I always forget that, and I keep forgetting my old roommate Ricky. She's friends with her. They went, I don't know, they go way back. I think from like LSU. I've been meaning to ask her about that for a long time. Every time I talk to her, it's like at the top of my brain. I always forget. I'm like, yeah, I always meant to pick her brain about her.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, Blair's shuffling her cards.
Looks like I'm someone said, well, yeah, actually, I've got that she already pulled to see if Vanderpump was coming back. I don't even know. I'm
trying to think of what is a good. I want to know. I'm curious. Okay, now that the season's going on pause, I was thinking that Sandoval's girlfriend broke up with him, but it looks like they're back together. I was thinking at first that Schwartz's girl was going to be soon in line to drop him because there's those shows that are cameras being picked up as of now. We don't know what's going on.
I think he's gonna be on a Valley because he's already been on there a few times.
Yeah, I think he's gonna end up on a Valley. I think Sheena. I think for the most part, just about everybody.
I mean, they're all moving there now, so
they're all trying to grab their
exactly.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. The Valley has got me. I'm loving it. It's because it's just the energy, and I like and how it's not like overly produced, and it's just,
I really like it. But I've been so overwhelmed in general in life. I've been really busy. I'm 2 episodes behind on it.
Yeah, you'll catch up. So, really, it's good. It's so worth it though.
I was gonna say, did you watch last night's episode? I got halfway through, and Jesse came back from the spiritual retreat wearing a beanie, and I started laughing so hard. I live in Colorado now, and that is like such a thing that happened.
He made the comment about the apple juice. It was just so random. And
He was like, everyone was
I apple
pixelated.
juice and chilled. It's funny. I was. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, I'm
really
like, yeah, the
interesting.
ayahuasca thing. I'm like, yeah, not for me.
I feel
Yeah,
like some people are just taking advantage of that. And, like it's like that. I feel like people aren't really using it with the best intentions anymore.
people are
It's
just
getting too.
doing
It's
it
becoming
for a
too
quick
trendy.
fix and not getting, because it's supposed to be with you doing the spiritual journey. And
Yeah, right.
like, I'm one of those people, I don't know if I'll ever partake. If I do, it's something that is like a spiritual practice that you have to go through. You should honor it. And I would be going to Peru and like partaking in it in that aspect. But right now, I just like, I see how some people come out and they're like awakened to new realities,
Mm-hmm.
and then they don't get the support and continue with the help in the spiritual journey that you should be continuing on, and it just
It becomes like a mess.
it becomes a mess. So that's why it's like there's some of these places out here that do make people do the work, and you have to submit request forms and you have to say, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm needing, this is the support system I have. And they do it, I shouldn't say correctly, because I am not licensed to be a facilitator, but I've seen the damage that so many people come out of after experiencing it, because there are some of these pop-up retreats that are just offering it. And it's just
right. Yeah.
So
with not much context behind it.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but it does seem like Jesse got a lot out of it. But I just hope he continues on the path and doesn't get lost in trying to chase that high again, because that does happen. It was kind of like what they used to do.
Yeah, I heard about
stuff like that. So
yeah. Oh, I know. It's so crazy. Yeah. But so anybody out there who's watching, what were your thoughts if y'all saw the Vanderpump reunion? What were your thoughts? I really want to know, what do you like? You have to say if you're team Ariana or team Lala, or team Katie and Ariana and team Lala and Sheena. Like, I'm just curious, like what other people's thoughts are. See, just tell us y'all thoughts or whatever if y'all watched it. Danny, if you by chance watched it, I know Amber watched it. I was yeah, I thought the reunion was better than I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, the season as a whole was. Which was, go ahead.
I didn't think it was going to be as mind-blowing, because I was waiting, like Andy Cohen had said that it was going to be like really explosive. I think like the last 7 episodes, or all these things were going to happen. I saw a few little things that happened that we weren't aware of, like the whole thing with Katie hooking up with Max, which that I never saw that.
That was exciting.
That was
interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Danny says she's team Lala, team Katie. Okay, yeah. And she said it was kind of a snooze fest. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't as, I guess, because last year was so explosive.
Yeah, this is tame in comparison.
And I think we were pretty much prepared for like what we kind of knew, I guess, what was going to go on. And I guess with social media, us having it, we've got everything at our fingertips. So we know so quickly like what's going on in their real lives, like right now, what's happening. But yeah. But oh, she means okay, team Ariana, team Katie. I didn't even catch that, Dana, because I'm so.
I know. I'm okay.
But what I found interesting was that they had Brock up there with the rest of the cast.
Members. He was up there.
So I think they must have bumped him up at some point on a pay, even maybe not in the opening credits, but in a payroll, because he was up there with the main cast members like the whole time for the reunion, and he wasn't there for like Brock, like how how they bring Allie on later on, they bring Joe later on.
Yeah, and I noticed that. He was there the whole time with the entire cast. I did notice that. That was the first thing I had noticed. Oh yeah, look, here we go. Like a gossip class, she said, Team Katie, oddly this season. I've never cared for her till now. That's funny. That's how I was, because I didn't really care for Katie until this season, really. Well, towards the end of the last season, and then this season, it's like I started to like care about her, and I was like, oh wait, yeah, I was like, man, she's growing on me, and did like this whole glow up. So
I was gonna say, look what happens when you get rid of all that baggage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's always like I always had a feeling deep down that she was that's why I said on Say Justice for Katie, because I always felt for years that she was better than what she was coming off on a surface. Like Like what you saw in a soft person of the surface, I think was not really a fair assessment of who she really was. But I kind of felt like that of all of them on there, she was. Oh, what was it I was saying? Kind of lost my train of thought. Up until Allie came on ship. I mean, Allie's a minor cast member, but like I felt like that she was least deplorable. So I've always liked her anyway. It's like I mean, she had her mean streaks at times, but it's like for me, it's like I always felt like that they were always valid. Like, it's like it wasn't without like their warrant. And
Well, the
but I
image I
mean,
keep,
she's
yeah, the image I keep getting is like, and it's interesting is I don't know if I think it was Kerry Washington that was on Drew Barrymore, where she talked about like your family knows how to push your buttons because they're the ones that installed them. I think that's the
that
same
makes sense.
exact thing that Schwartz installed those buttons to push, and he would
Uh-huh.
push them right as they started to roll. He knew what he was doing. Like the producers knew
Makes a
what
lot of
was going
sense.
on. And like, so
Hmm.
you didn't see the best of her and they didn't let you see the best of her. So it was just
Exactly.
interesting because I think I also like sympathize, like I saw myself in her going back and watching the seasons and knowing where
Yeah.
she ends up and seeing that progression that she's made season from season from season of going, I have been in that relationship where they brought out the worst in me. And, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
it was one of those things that she happened to marry that person and I did the same thing. And, you know, that
Hmm.
wasn't supposed to be the person that you marry. That was just supposed to be the person that taught you the lesson. But you keep repeating that cycle until you're ready to move on.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
like
for
seeing where
sure.
she's at right now. I feel like she's in such a great place. So I can't wait to see where she goes and like and what she does. But I
Yeah.
will say this though, I'm so glad that people are noticing it and they're calling Schwartz out on that whole little, oh geez, go, oh golly, oh that whole
Sucks behavior.
yeah, it's so irritating because it's like I know so many guys that I've seen so many guys just use that and they pull it and they not even with just relationships, but even with I mean, um, not just like intimate relationships, but just business relationships, working relationships, any kind of relationships. It's so irritating. It's because and it bothers me. It bothers me because I've seen so many guys do that to women, and get away with it. And it's like, oh, and like how he played. He knew what was going on with the whole thing. He and Sandoval are close. He knew. He probably felt like, oh man, look, I'm kind of stuck. But he kept going with it. He never opted out of hanging out with him. And look, him and Joe went and took a trip with Rachel and Sandoval. So it's kind of like it.
Well,
Yeah, he needs to.
that whole thing. And that was another thing, like with Schwartz, he kind of reminds me of the saying of like, if at the beginning of the day you run into somebody and they're an asshole, they're an asshole. But by the end of the day, if
Yeah.
everybody you've ran into is an asshole, then you should probably look in the mirror. And I think seeing how he treated Joe, even though she
Mhm.
is not all there right now, like you see him
It
repeating the
showed his true
pattern.
colors.
He's showing his
And that's
true
Yeah.
pretty much
colors and he's repeating a pattern. So
right. And that's pretty
Yeah.
much what
For
Katie
sure.
even said. She even at one point she even kind of said she like felt a little sorry for her because she could see what he was doing. And but at the same time, it's like I see how they have their limit with Joe. It's like what I want to know is something apparently something happened, something went on, and they're not saying it. I was even listening to Sheena's podcast the other day, and apparently everybody knows that there's something they're not saying it, but it's giving apparently a valid and legit reason as to why they're like, okay, she doesn't need to be in his friend group, and as to why Schwartz shouldn't be dating her. And
well,
they,
there was
I,
something to do with why they called her spooky because it so I guess Kristen was the one that brought her not necessarily into the group, but basically brought her into the group because she was her stylist, like her hairstyle who did her hair. She was
okay,
like,
okay.
"Hey, I'm looking to get more male clients." So she pushed Schwartz that way. And then also there was something where
Oh,
Joe was brought in to do hair for like a photo shoot for Ariana. And then like immediately, even though she's been doing Kristen's hair for years, immediately used Ariana or Lala or whoever it was on that photo shoot that she was her personal stylist. And then also collaborated with like the actual like clothing stylist and like the makeup artist, and they had to get her to take it down because she was marketing that to get clients and made her take it down within like 48 hours. They're like, we don't know you. Like you were just, we needed somebody to fill in real quick.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
so it was that whole thing. Like she just kind of like suction cupped, I guess, herself to that whole group.
Okay, now okay, that makes sense. And then from there, like she and Schwartz just kind of developed like this little friends with benefits kind of thing
Yeah.
because it was convenient to him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Oh, makes sense.
guys like convenience.
Yep. Don't we all know it?
Mhm.
Oh God, that's why I didn't date for like so long. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, on that note, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. Stephanie, thank you so much
This was really fun. This was so
yeah, it
fun.
was. It was a whole lot of fun. Thank you for like coming on and at like the last minute. Like, and y'all, we're so sorry. Krista actually she got sick. She wasn't feeling well. So I told her I was like, take care of you and your health first. So she'll be back with us because she was gonna jump on this live with us as well. But and we were gonna do recap Real Housewives of New Jersey. But we're gonna figure out sometime this weekend recap that. But Stephanie, go ahead and plug your information. Like tell everybody where we can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. My handle is New Wings Rising. It is the company that I actually started this year. Like my heading says, I am a diviner, hydromancer, and I am a life path consultant. Basically, I've taken what I've learned from business consulting, working in corporate America as an accountant and engineer, and helping women basically start their own businesses and trying to figure out what they want to do. So I use divine guidance along with business and, help people start their new personal legend.
I love it.
That's awesome.
That is so
I'm
awesome.
excited. So proud of you too.
I know. That's
Yeah.
like you definitely like. I mean, oh, I've always admired you. You know that.
And you, like, I still can't believe it was a drunken night in San Diego with a whole bunch of EOD techs, like, and Navy pilots.
I know, right? It's like but here we are. This like lifelong friends.
It's like, oh, the webs we weave. Like, life is just really funny like that.
Oh,
and I
my
was like,
God.
I met you through Kim, obviously, and
Yeah.
we've become really good friends. So it's like, it's
I know. It's
really cool.
so
Yeah.
cool.
I need to come down and visit you guys and meet up. Maybe we should meet up in New Orleans.
I
Oh
know
my
we had
God.
so much
Hell
fun at
yeah.
last time we did.
I
Oh, that was
know.
such a blast.
We totally have to do that for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add all your information. So yeah, just take a look at our bio. I'm gonna go ahead and have that uploaded as well. I'll put that in. So if you want to follow the links, find Stephanie's information. I'll also have it on Instagram. I'll put it TikTok and I'll have it I'm missing something. Am I missing something? I think I covered all the platforms. I'll add it there. But thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
and
you
we
for
will see
everything.
y'all soon. We're gonna whip out like another episode soon. But yes, have a good night, Danny. Thank you so much for coming here and have a great week as well. And yes, and you too, gossip class, yeah. And gossip class, we gotta have to get back on for another episode.
Oh, no,
And Danny, we have to do a collab with you too. So that'll be super, super awesome. But yeah, all right, everybody, have a good night and thank y'all for tuning in and
Bye.
we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.